Music! I love doing that. It's so cool. Hey, I'm Michael Edward, creator of How to Crush Your Mental Blocks, which is a course that teaches you how to identify and remove the mental blocks that's keeping you stuck, stopping you from reaching your level of success. Hey, my friend, I am Michael Edward, facilitator of the Tap It Out program. The Tap It Out program is a program that helps people remove emotional stigmas to events that happened to them in their past, okay? Very powerful stuff. And today I am going to be focusing on advanced stress reduction technique. Now, we all know that stress kills us, all right? That's not news. That's been around forever. Squaring up, there we go. Stress has been around forever, and the effects that it has on the human body has been studied to death. We know that stress kills us. It helps bring on disease. It certainly ruins our life and the enjoyment of life and being who we want to be. All right, stress will change all that. And today I'm going to take you through the steps of the Tap It Out program for stress reduction. Okay, you will love this. You will want to do this every night before you go to bed, when anything's annoying you. And, all the time, basically every day, you want to do a couple of minutes. We're not talking about an hour here. We're talking about a couple of minutes. It's so simple. All right. Now, before I get into that, I want to tell you a little bit about the Tap It Out program. The Tap It Out program is designed to remove all the negative emotions that you have to a trauma or an event or what you've been told. We know that today it's been studied more and more. I knew this, decade ago, if not more, that our childhood affects our adult life. It can and often does. So what happens is as we're growing up, we're told we're not good enough. That's a terrible one. We're told lots of stuff. You can't do this. You can't be that. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not handsome enough. You're not tall enough. You're too short, whatever. And then we get into life's traumas, right? Sexual assaults. I worked with a guy who was mugged. He was a teenager. He thought he was really tough and everything like that. And he was, actually. But he got mugged. It was more of a surprise attack, so he couldn't prepare for it. He wasn't eating. He wouldn't sleep. He was just a mess. And he came to me, and one session, he was fine. Had the best sleep he ever had that night, okay? So I've dealt with, like I say, sexual assaults. I've dealt with traumas involving car accidents, and my first, I call him victim because it was my son. He used to have nightmares a couple times a night, and then we had a house fire, and his nightmares went to 3 to 4 or 5 times a night. And when I learned this technique, he was the first person I sat down with and said, here, let me do something. And he was little. He was just a little guy. All right. I don't even think he was 10. I think he was 8 or 9. And after I worked with him for 10, 15 minutes, he didn't have a nightmare for something like 8 or 9 months. And then when he did have a nightmare, it was related to a silly game he was playing on the PlayStation. So we got rid of that. So again, he was nightmare free for a very long time. And that is incredible, all right? Going from nightmares 4, 5, 6 times a night, waking us up and everything, to nothing. I mean, it was amazing. I had a client who was in his late 60s come to me one time. He was referred to me by a friend of his who found out about the work I was doing. And he said, I've got a guy, in his late 60s, and I want you to meet him and help him out. He said he's suicidal. He has no energy. There's nothing physically wrong with him, and so on. So he came to me, and one of the first questions I ask is, how do you feel right now? 0 being, dead, 100 being, or 10 being, whee! You're really excited and enthusiastic and happy to be alive. And he said, I'm a 2. I said, well, that bad? He said, oh yeah. He said, I'm basically dead. And we worked together for an hour. That's my usual, is an hour with a client. And when we were done, I said, what's your energy level now? And he laughed. He actually laughed, and he said, I'm like a 6'7". I said, well, that's remarkable. And he said, it is. And he felt so good when he walked out the door. It was great. I really enjoyed that session. And what came up for him was things when he was 10 years old, 8 years old. And he said, why is this stuff coming up? And I said, because it's what's in you that we need to eliminate the negative emotion. And it was horrible stuff. It was the father raping his sister, right? Repeatedly for a long period of time. So it was brutal stuff. And within an hour, I changed him around a lot, and he felt substantially better. He was laughing, he was smiling, he was a new man. And that was a terrific reward for me to see that kind of a shift in a person. So, all right, all that being said, that's the type of stuff that I work with. What I will not work with is anybody that has been diagnosed or suspects they have multiple personality or schizophrenia. It's just because I'm not knowledgeable in that area, and I don't want to mess it up. So that is one thing that I will not work with. But pretty much everything else, illnesses. I was working with a client yesterday. I said, geez, you sound really stuffy. And she said, yeah. And I said, allergies or cold? And she said, allergies. And I said, well, let's just see what we can do with that. And a few minutes later, she was breathing clearly through her nose, felt substantially better. So there's really nothing that I won't work on. Serious diseases, any emotional, especially anything emotional, anxiety, all of that stuff is perfect for what I'm doing here. So how did I learn this technique? I learned it from my mentor, who's called Gary Craig. Gary Craig is an extremely kind, generous man who was an engineer by trade, and then he started exploring with what he calls EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. I call the Tap It Out program. There's some subtle differences, but nothing major. And that's where I got my knowledge from in the beginning, and then I've studied other people along the way, and of course, practical practice. I mean, nothing better than working with clients. So I am quite advanced at this technique. The Tap It Out program includes a tearless technique, which is great when you're dealing with something that's very stressful, like a rape or somebody who was in war, in battle, and the things that they witness are just horrific. So we need to sneak up on them and try and make it as gentle as possible. It takes a few minutes longer, but well worth the effort. All right. So if you want to know more about that, join my email list. The link is here in the description. You want to join my email list. And the thing is when you join my email list, any email you get from me, you can respond. It comes directly to me, and we can set up an appointment, etc. Now, as promised, Advanced Stress Reduction Technique. Let's talk about it. I'm going to take you through the basic recipe. I'm going to take you through the basic steps. And I'm going to be a little verbal here because some people may not see exactly what I'm doing, and I want to make sure you're getting this. All right? And I'm blind, as you probably know by now. I had to do a lot of this on myself after my family and I split up, after I lost everything. I had no job. I was depressed. I was suicidal. And this is part of how I recovered from all that. Okay? You're going to want to use this when you are stressed out. I suggest you do it every night before bed and eliminate all the things that happened that day. All right? Husband pissed me off. Wife pissed me off. Kids were really irritating, and just whatever. And I guarantee you will have a better sleep that night when you start using this technique. Okay? All right. So I have to take off my glasses for this, which is not terrific because light hurts my eyes. All right. Glasses are out of the way. Okay. But of course, with the pain of the light hurting my eyes, I can just tap it off after, right? Of course. All right. So I'm going to take the karate chop point of the hand. That is between the baby knuckle and the wrist bone at the bottom of your hand. Now it does not matter whether you use your right hand or left hand to tap on or tap with. It does not matter. These pressure points, these acupressure points, are bilateral, meaning they're equal on both sides of the body. All right, so I tap with my right hand. I got my fingers wide open, just my hand is open, like I'm going to shake somebody's hand. And I'm taking the flat part of my fingers and I'm tapping that karate chop point. You might be able to hear it in the microphone. Some of the points I know you will, probably my chest when I get there. This is the side of the hand or the karate chop point. Usually I just say side of the hand. And as we're here, you can say out loud or say in your mind, and again, this is just for stress reduction. So I'm going to use the example today of the children really pissed me off, okay? And you use the language that works for you. Children irritated me. The children pissed me off. It doesn't matter what words you use as long as they're words that you use, not the words that I use. All right? They have to fit in your mouth, in other words. All right, side of the hand. Even though the children pissed me off today, I'm okay. All right? Say that a couple more times. Even though the children pissed me off today, I'm okay. Even though the children pissed me off today, I'm okay. All right? Now we're going to go to the eyebrow point. Now I'm going to 2 fingers to tap with, and it's above your nose and I'm doing the right side because I'm right-handed. So it's above the nose and to the right a little bit, just on the edge of the eyebrow. And use 2 or 3 fingers. Right now I'm using 3. So that way you know you're covering the spot. You don't have to be absolutely precise when you're tapping with 3 fingers, okay? So now I'm going to say, children pissed me off. Now I'm going to go to the side of the eye, which is the orbital bone, all right, on the side, the outside of your eye, sort of in front of your temple. If you were to trace your temple going to your eyeball, there's that bone sticking out there, and that's where you're going to tap. And you're going to say again, children piss me off. And then I'm going to go under the eye. So the idea is, again, I have 3 fingers because it's natural for me to reach with 3 fingers here. My middle finger is right under the eyeball, right under the pupil. And all 3 fingers, again, on that orbital bone, but this time below your eye. All right, children piss me off again. And now under the nose, I've got 2 or 3 fingers. It's between my nose and my upper lip. Okay, children piss me off again. And now I am under the lip, the bottom lip, in the divot between your chin and your lip. Okay, and I got 2 or 3 fingers in there. I'm going, children piss me off today. And now I'm going to make a fist, and I'm going to gently knock at your collarbone, the U of your collarbone. So right between the 2 collarbones, if you were to trace your fingers, you'll find that U at the base of your throat. It's actually a little bit below and to either side. But let's not be that precise. Let's just knock with our fist, and we know we're going to hit it. This, incidentally, is a very relaxing point. So if you feel yourself getting stressed, just start knocking here. Okay? Again, we say, children pissed me off. And now I'm going to go on a man is straight across your nipple on your side. It's called the under the arm. So I move my arm a little bit out, and now I'm tapping on with my full flat fingers. I'm tapping here under my arm where a woman's bra strap would be, and right across from the man's nipple on your side. Okay? Again, doesn't matter which hand you use, doesn't matter which side of your body you're on. All right? And again, you just repeat it. Children pissed me off today. Now I'm going to go to the top of the head, and I got my hand turned into like a claw. So I have all 5 fingers tapping around the top of my head, the crown of my head. All right? And again, I say, children pissed me off today. And I take a deep breath, let it go, as you're tapping. All right? That is the basic recipe. Now I'm going to just take you through without a lot of description. I'll say the points as I go through so you can get used to the name of the points. And we will go through 2 rounds. And you want to do this exact recipe 2 rounds every time. You want to do it twice. The other thing that you need to do is to have what's called the level of discomfort. All right, that 0 to 10 I spoke about earlier. You want to say, okay, I'm kind of PO'd right now because the children did this and this and this. How PO'd am I? 0 being not at all, 10 being extremely. Pick a number. It doesn't have to be super accurate. You don't have to be, super scientific about it. Just pick a number that feels right to you. All right? So right now, maybe I'll say it's a 7. All right. I'm pretty annoyed. It was a pretty rough day. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I know that now. I've got that in my head. It's a 7. All right. You can write it down. You can remember it, whatever works for you. Now, here's what we do. Even though I'm on the side of my hand, even though children piss me off, I'm okay. Even though children piss me off, I'm okay. Even though children piss me off, I'm okay. All right. Eyebrow point. Children piss me off. Side of the eye. Children piss me off. Under the eye. Children piss me off. Under the nose. Children piss me off. And you can see I'm going pretty quick here. You don't have to go that quick, by the way, but you can. Under the chin, right? Between the chin and the lip. Children piss me off. Okay? Collarbone area. Children piss me off. Under the arm. Children piss me off. Top of the head. Children piss me off. Okay, eyebrow, children piss me off. Side of the eye, children piss me off. Under the eye, children piss me off. Under the nose, children piss me off. Chin, children piss me off. Collarbone, children piss me off, which is just below the collarbone, not knocking on the collarbone. Under the arm, children piss me off. Top of the head, children piss me off. Okay, now you stop and you say, oh, that feels good. I love this. Anyway, now you stop and you say, okay, how do I feel about the children pissing me off now? I was a 7. Did it get worse, which is good, or did it get better, which is great? Right? And the reason I say it's good is because movement up or down the scale is fine. You're hitting it. You're just bringing it up more. Now you do another round. And you keep doing exactly what we just did and over until it comes down to a 0. What's it take? A minute, maybe a minute and a half to do one round? All right. Just in case you can't hear the knocking, I was tapping at a speed of about like that. Again, you do not have to go that fast, but you want to tap about, up to say 8 to 10 times per point before you move on. And just by saying the words in your mind or saying the words out loud, you will generally cover that. So if you go slower and you say, children, if you tap slower, so tap, 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 children pissed me off, you just talk a little slower and you're going to get the point. You're going to get it in there. All right. So what you don't want to do is just tap 2 or 3 times and move on. That's too fast. Not good enough. It's not going to serve you in any way. All right, that is the end of the Advanced Stress Reduction Technique by the Tap It Out program by me, Michael Edward. If you want to work with me one-on-one and learn a whole lot more about this, send me an email and or join my email list. You will get joined up there. You want to check your spam if you don't get in because it'll go in your spam folder sometimes, etc. And you send me an email and you say, I want to learn more about this. I'll send you more information or I'll send you a link, whatever it is I'm going to do. And you can work with me one-on-one and we'll work with those details later. This is how it works. I beg you, please do the Tap It Out every single day. And tap out everything that day that annoyed you, that has you stressed out, that has you anxious, anything like that. I do suggest, though, that this is, I consider this experimental, even though I've had tremendous success with it. Never failed yet. But that's when I'm working with you. And I think that we need to address this as an experimental technique. And, I cannot give you any guarantees how it's going to work for you until we get in there and start working. But even just using the stress reduction technique, please think of it as experimental. And I would suggest that you stay away from the real serious stuff. The traumas, the rapes, the assaults, all of that really heavy stuff that I was talking about before. You need to work one-on-one with somebody who's very, very good at this technique. All right. But this technique will serve you for stress reduction of that day, and it will help you sleep at night. So I suggest you just take a couple of minutes every night, and before you go to bed, just get rid of whatever that day had in store for you that is making you feel badly. You will feel lighter. You will feel happier. You will sleep more contentedly. All right? So there you go, my friend. I hope that serves you. I am Michael Edward, creator of How to Crush Your Mental Blocks, and the website is mepersonaldevelopment.com, because that's what we're here to do, is develop your personal. Okay, thank you very much. I want you to go out there, enjoy every day, love as much as you can, and succeed. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, please like it, share it. Click on that subscribe button, click on that bell icon to adjust your notifications so you'll never miss another video from me again. In the description, there's links including mepersonaldevelopment.com, where we help you reach your highest level of success.